What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 30, that's a big number, of Battle Talk. Show where you can tweet in your Blizzard-related questions and call us live on Skype and all that other kinds of fun stuff. I'm your host, Mike, and one more announcement. This is also episode 8.5 of Conspiracy Craft. And, yeah. So joining me, as usual, are my co-hosts, Dom.
What's up?
So what's up, Dom?
I'm just hanging out in Tanan Jungle.
Just
looking at the Dark Portal.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out how to get out of Draenor.
Wait, I just realized you're actually in Tanan Jungle.
Yeah.
Okay, then. So, did you like our fancy new intro that Cody made us?
I did. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. We're being told it's
Where is
loud.
Cody?
Not here to defend himself.
Huh.
But yeah, Cody's not here, but taking his spot is a very special guest. Adrienne, also known as Lilmissy.
Hi guys! Long time no see!
What's going on, Missy? I haven't seen you in a whole, 2 days.
2 days.
2
I
days. So what's new?
Writing over at Gabe Scanning just posted about the changes to Imperator Margok for Raid Finder, which we will talk about later.
Ooh,
Excellent.
yeah. I like it.
How do you like working over at Game Skinny now?
It's nice. The only difference is that I can't just walk right in and be like, I am writing this. It's I want to write this and then wait.
Yeah.
Which is normally me going ahead and writing it.
Because they're likely going to approve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Imperator Margok for LFR. That was fun. That opened.
Yeah, did you guys
today.
you guys all had a chance to do that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After our attempts in normal mode, that was
Refreshing.
refreshingly easy. But
Indeed it was.
if you don't pay attention to the ads, you can still wipe.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we
also
came
for
very
those of you that are unaware, Little Missy's actually in our guild. She's part of our raid team, so
close. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Part of our A team. Guild is Silent Chaos.
Shed
Forward side.
my holy paladin to be a Redditon.
Yeah. Doing a
Just
damn
did-
good job at it too.
Keeps us on our toes.
I'm a top 4.
Mm-hmm.
She is top 4. Actually, with the new members we've gotten, all the DPS, rankings have been shifted. I don't know where the hell we all fall anymore.
Yeah.
On
She's
Friday.
still top 4. We'll find out Friday, yeah. But if you're interested in joining us, the guild is Silent Chaos. It is on US Terralion, Horde side. We are currently progressing through High Mall. We got Heroic Kargath last week on our first attempt, which was utterly ridiculous. And we are 6 of 7, and given another half hour of raiding, we probably would have gotten Imperator too, but time ran out, unfortunately. But we'll get him Friday.
Unsurprisingly, I wasn't tanking the floor for most of the instance.
No, you lived pretty well, which I swear you paid one of the healers to keep you, alive even through the fire.
Shh, don't release my secrets.
How else do you think the priest gets all the heals?
So, what did you guys think of the LFR wing? Was it too short with just one boss?
No. 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 The major difference with Imperator Margok and Raid Finder is, those mines that he puts down on the ground randomly?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Those don't do damage to your friends, just yourself.
Oh.
So it's ridiculous. Literally, I'm looking through the dungeon journal. It says 62k on normal, and then I look and it's 0. And I'm like, so that's why it shrunk short.
But
Yeah, so it's literally Taurus mode.
it is Taurus mode. It puts an annoying debuff on you if you do detonate it, and every bit of arcane damage you take after that stuns you, and everything else in that fight is arcane damage.
I did manage to die in the LFR. I was
I
the
died.
only one that died. And I got a battle res though, and then may have died again.
Yeah,
I
we
was healing.
wiped because the ads, if you don't pay attention to the ads coming in, the tank did not grab the Reaver, and I face tanked the Reaver.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the big
that'll do
problem I'm hearing coming from LFR groups is the Reaver not being picked up on the second ad transition phase. which is the rune of replication, I believe.
Yeah.
As if you're paying attention. It's when he's at, like, I don't know, 25% health or something like that.
It's second intermission.
Yeah, second intermission. And this came up today. That does not mean you get to sit around and do nothing. Intermission just means from the boss. Go
Yes.
kill the ads. Take a break from, beating on the boss. It's a long fight. You're tired. You're weary of fighting the same target.
Yeah.
Although you're not really
think a
fighting
lot
the
of-
same target.
You're not. No.
Yeah. I think a lot of the reason why he branched off his own wing was the complaints people had for the Garrosh LFR, and how many people would drop out of the raid and stuff like that, and then you'd be sitting around waiting for more people to fill in. I think just having this last boss is a good idea. I don't believe Blackrock Foundry is going to function the same way, though. But
Yes, it is.
Is it? He's
Yes, it is.
what's his name?
Blackhand.
Blackhand. Yeah, Blackhand will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. But there's also a number more bosses in Foundry. What, I think there's 9 or
Right.
10 in there?
10?
Yeah, so we get 4,
Yeah.
and 2, or 4, 5, and 1.
I don't think they'll give us 5 in a wing.
It's broken up into 4 parts. Blackhand is by himself.
Right.
That
So
much
they'll-
I remember.
If there's 10, they'll
Okay.
probably give us 3, 3, 3, 1. Just to
Yeah,
break it up.
I like having the last boss just as his own wing. I
Yeah,
think it's a little refreshing.
Yeah, it's 4 wings. It's 3, 3, 3, 1. So that's how it's gonna be. We got it.
Mm.
All right, that works for me.
Excellent.
But yeah, I had fun with it. It was easy.
Yeah.
I was dreading it just because it's Raid Finder, and I'm just like, this is the last boss. And if people were dying in the second wing, how bad is this going to be? Because I watched Paragon's kill video, and yes, that's mythic, but holy Jesus, there is so much stuff. Like, I literally watched it, I'm just like, this is a clusterfuck.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
and-
it didn't seem too bad when we were doing it on normal, though, right? Because we got the boss to, 40%, I think it was, with very little preparation.
Yeah.
We kind of just all went in there and, we did, 3 attempts on it? 40%? Wasn't too bad. And nothing, I don't think really anything changes on Heroic, so it's, Mythic is big.
Yeah, Mythic is the
Mythic
big...
has its own thing.
Yeah.
its own
It
thing,
has its
which...
own change.
Yeah, there's an extra phase at the end. And I guess, do we want to bring that up? Because there's a complaint I've been seeing going around with that. That with the last phase, you're only going to see all of the lore in Mythic difficulty. Technically. And that's kind of the whole thing. Isn't that what they implemented LFR for in the first place? So everybody can experience the lore?
Yeah, it is supposed to be. I know they hate us calling it, but it is tourist mode. They said anybody can go in there and do it. That's the idea. But it's supposed to give everybody the story and stuff. And we're doing heroics now in Highmaw. I don't know where we're going with Mythic if we're gonna try, but if we just did heroics, we'll never see the whole story even as normal and heroic.
And Heroic's a decent challenge, because we sunk a couple of attempts into Heroic Butcher.
Yeah, Butcher, the second hardest boss.
That was a hell of a difficulty increase from normal to Heroic right there.
I can understand why the top end
But
guilds
we got
now
him to
left.
26%.
That's true.
We did.
But I can understand now why the top end guilds have left Mythic Butcher till last in their progression.
Right.
Yeah.
Kargath was... I don't know how hard Mythic Kargath is going to be with the roar of the crowd and keeping them happy.
Tigers.
And the tigers, setting them on fire and stuff like that. But Heroic Kargath difficulty increase, I didn't notice it personally.
I didn't either.
It's,
we one-shot it.
We did one-shot it. And, I mean, we've cleared it since we started raiding every week, no problem. It just felt like another attempt.
I mean, when we
Butcher, on the
first
other
did
hand,
it... Yeah, when we first did it and we killed it, I thought we had accidentally forgot to switch it to Heroic
I had the
because
same
of how
thing.
easy it was. And then when we switched it over to normal, I was trying to jinx us, and I was like, we one-shot Heroic, now let's wipe on normal. I would have loved that. I really would have.
Thankfully, we didn't. We came close.
We did come close. But It's fun stuff, and I know we are going to try Mythic. That is the plan.
Yeah.
In the future.
Whether we're going to get to it before BlackRock Foundry comes out or not is another question. But yeah. I'm really looking forward to BlackRock Foundry too. Like the first encounter is Grohl. Like I love Grohl, and he's part of the Burning Blade. Is it Burning Blade? Shattered Hand clan.
Shattered Hand.
And they chopped his hand off and put a hook on it. So like we're in another timeline now where all bets are off, and I love it.
Yeah, this is Gruul the not dragon killer.
Poor Gruul.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have all those black dragons to kill in the off-season.
Because they never came over.
Exactly, they never...
I know. We're gonna totally get everybody lost on where the lore actually hits and where it happens, and they're gonna be... Yeah.
I mean, even us to a degree don't know where the story is really going. You know, we don't know because we don't know everything there is to know about this timeline.
We know there's...
I don't think we ever will know.
Yeah, we know there's minor differences. One such that Garrosh was never born in this timeline.
It's been fun seeing all the characters, though, that you faced in the Burning Crusade again in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Different things happen.
And even little tiny references to, like, Mancrick's wife. You know, it's like...
Oh my god!
Mancrick's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Girlfriend.
She's lost. Go find her.
Now she's filled with vengeance.
I can only imagine. I can't.
Those little throwbacks and little nods is really what would hit home on this expansion. This one, like, Cataclysm was supposed to be that going back to, like, your vanilla roots and, like, reliving everything. And when Cataclysm dropped, I didn't get that feeling. You know, I thought I was going in expecting it, and I didn't at all. This one is even though we're not home, we're in Outlands, we're in Draenor, you know, whatever. I'm still feeling, like, closer to classic WoW than I ever have in any of the expansions.
Oh, I got to agree there. They did an amazing job. I've said it how many weeks now?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just too much. Too many feels. But as far as where lore ties in, this is a big question I had recently. We noticed, to our surprise, because we're idiots, while going through for guild achievements, that they redid Razorfen Crawl, Razorfen Downs, and Black Fathom Deeps. This expansion.
Black Fathom Deeps was definitely the most noticeable of the changes.
They changed a lot.
I believe Black Fathom Deeps has Christian Nairn, I can't say his last name, Hodor, doing one of the voices.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to go back in now because I was playing that whole instance with sounds off.
Yeah.
So
he's doing a voice of one of the bosses.
Huh. I gotta go through that again.
That is incredible.
There you go!
Yeah, it seems like what they did is they because we're trying to figure out, and the timeline in which it takes place is technically during Cataclysm.
Or is it current?
I don't think it's current.
I think it's Cataclysm. I think this was the dungeon that they wanted to revamp, and they didn't get to. And they just did, like, a minor adjustment.
Because I know we do a bit of time traveling as the timeline goes, because when you're doing the story, right, you start off level 1, right, and you go through, and you're on the Cataclysm thing, Deathwing's coming down, because they still haven't updated Kazan Island and the Goblin starting, so Deathwing's still running in and doing his thing, and, you know, you're dealing with all that, and then you see the aftermath of everything when you get off, and then you go into Outlands, and you know, or whatever, so you're traveling back in time now to go to Outlands.
A time warp.
Or no, is Outlands? I think Outlands is still present.
No, you do Cataclysm, and they said that basically what's happening is during Cataclysm. Cataclysm is now kind of in the past, simply because we're at Warlords. Outlands, you're going back in time. That's what they've had to explain, is you are doing a time hop to go out and experience, to prepare yourself to become the epic hero that you need to be in the future, as well as with Wrath of the Lich King. You come back to Cataclysm, and it's now back in present-ish time. Go out to visit Pandaria, and that's kind of happening roughly around the same time as, like, and then we finish off and we do Warlords, future, past, weird.
Right. I mean, at this point, they should just shove you
brain
into the caverns
hurts.
of time.
I would like to live there, thanks.
Yeah, that would.
The caverns of time needs to be the new town hub, right? We need to live
Pretty
in there,
much.
have all our stuff in there, and you get portals to Northern, get portals to Outlands. Like
Keeps growing.
It
yeah,
does.
just keep sending us all over the place.
Just let
I mean,
us
I'm
stay
surprised they
there.
really didn't shove level 70 Outlands in there when they
I
changed the
thought they
Dark
were
Portal on
going
us.
to, because they said that
That's
they
what I
were
thought.
going to, and it was going to be there, and then they changed their mind.
Right.
I wonder why they changed their mind on that.
It's all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Oh my
I
God,
would
so much
have to
wibbly
ask
wobbly.
Mickey or Dave.
You would have to.
My brain is hurting already.
There's so much more stuff. I just
We
don't even
just
know where
started.
to go.
We just started and we all have
it's
migraines.
but it's just trying to place, like, you level through from 1 to this. Thank God for boost to level 90, right?
Yeah, then isn't that technically you're traveling into the future that way? You're pulling a Marty McFly.
Yep. Space Jam.
I just don't even know where to go with all this. It's too much. My brain already hurts. I don't like it.
Where do you think we're heading in Draenor though? Right? Because
Oh,
all right, so we know everything that's here, right? We have all the continents in place. We have right here Tanan Jungle right behind me. We still have this zone that we don't have access to, right?
I've kind of snuck there a bit.
Yeah, me too.
Visible walls everywhere.
There are. There's a few you can get around, but it's very, very tricky. But when we saw the map from BlizzCon of 2 years ago, the 2013 BlizzCon, there were 2 islands that they showed us that are not currently on the map. One of which is south of Nagrand, and I believe that's supposed to be the Ogre homeworld, right?
Yeah, that's supposed to be their continent part.
a part of the Gorian Empire. It's their continent, but their capital is still Heimwall.
Right.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. So I'm curious if they've retconned that at this point and are going to change it to something else and just have Heimwall be it. But I'm hoping it's still the ogre homeworld, whatever. Because I really, really, really want to see a female ogre.
That is a scary request to ask for.
That is a
It
very
is.
scary. I mean,
It is. But from a lore standpoint, we haven't seen any. We know that they exist, right? They've been referenced in a few different texts. They're very few and far between, but there's been like 2 references of female ogres.
And they're coveted probably like female dwarves in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's like Smurfette. It's like Smurfette. There's only one in the village. But I think if they from a lore standpoint, I just broke Missy. I think from a lore standpoint, if they made it so that the female ogres never left their continent,
that would make sense because they still had to be, breed machines basically.
Right.
so that would mean
That
in
would
our
explain
current
why we've
timeline-
never seen them.
And in our current timeline, they're all dead then because that continent got ripped off into space.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily.
But then-
It's just ripped off into space. We don't know where it is.
Yeah, we don't know where it is in the Twisting Nether.
Very true.
Of Outlands.
Which brings me to my other point. The other island is where Netherstorm is, right? Netherstorm is clearly broken apart and is kind of ripped all over the place. And that island is supposed to be the fields or the plains. It's been referred to as both of Farallon. And it even says that in the Burning Crusade. I forget the guy's name. It begins with an R, I think. But it's Archmage Vargoth's apprentice. Says that this land used to be known as the Fields of Farallon. And it's supposed to be something like grassy plains and stuff like that. So I'm curious. It looked like a pretty big continent on the map that they showed us. So I'm hoping there's going to be a raid out there, or at least have it be a new questing hub, kind of like the Isle of Thunder,
That's a good question.
I,
Now,
I hope it's not like the Owl Thunder. I
So-
don't need all those rares.
this is going to lead on into more questions from me, but my question about the Twisting Nether. Is there a separate Twisting Nether for each timeline, or is this like some kind of subspace that underlies all of the timelines?
Oh god, you're gonna make me pull my Hoovian out.
I know, but that's a good question, because that would mean, are there separate Sargeras is for each of these timelines.
I want to say they're going to be separate, kind of like how Doctor Who plays it on. Like there's parallel universes, and you never want those parallel universes to cross because they're parallel. They don't cross. When they do, they form a paradox. And the problem that we're running into right now with Warlords is technically we are forming a paradox by bringing the Draenor that we have to our timeline thanks to Kairos Dormu. So we're going to form a paradox at some point in the future that's going to wreak havoc on Azeroth, because this is just not what's supposed to happen. So the Sargeras that we're probably thinking about, he is probably the alternate timeline one and not present day. Not ours. That makes sense. Did you keep up?
I kept up.
I actually did. But
the whole
you have like some of the
illustration.
You have some of the demons, like the Dreadlords and stuff. Like when they get sucked up, they go to the Twisting Nether, correct?
Yes, the ones
that die
get banished back to the Twist. No, they end up getting banished to the Twisting Nether. There's ones that actually just die. They're dead. They're not coming back. We banished. We flushed what's his name down the Sunwell.
Kill Jaden.
And that was sending him. Yeah, Kill Jaden. So he's back in the Twisting Nether, which is where Sargeras is at, which they originally aren't from there. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, they're not from there. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like Illidan. When Illidan died, right? He technically went back to the Twisting Nether. But did he go back in a form where he could come back from?
But the question is did he, or did he just die?
See, because he was, at that point, what was he? Was he more demon than he was Night Elf?
I think he was.
Because his Night Elf part would have died, and his demonic essence would have went back to the Twisting Nether. If I'm
right, that's why I think his body was left there, didn't get sucked up like, we've seen some of the other Dreadlords and stuff. Like, what was the one that was in Living Strat? And then he ended up showing up again in Wrath of the Lich King.
Mal'Ganis.
Yeah. Mal'Ganis, but that was due to...
No, not Mal'Ganis. The one that was hiding as part of the Scarlet Crusade.
Balnazar.
Oh, yeah.
Balnazar, yeah.
Living Strat.
Yeah, he got sent back to the Twisting Nether, but Archimonde's coming back, and we've defeated him. Like, he poofed, and just left his armor behind in Hyjal, but he didn't go back to the Twisting Nether. So it's really hard to determine, like, what is really death to a demon? Is it going back to the Twisting Nether, and how do we know if they've been banished back to it or not? I think they use it more of as like an escape plan, like an emergency bite the tooth.
See, I thought all the wisps would have poofed Archimonde, and he was dead.
But now we have this other timeline where we don't know what the fate of a lot of these creatures are. Like, Illidan is probably still alive, right? In this
He's
timeline?
Probably in prison, maybe. But the thing is like, this is the problem that we get into when we decide that we're going to connect an alternate timeline to our current one. Is that timeline still connected to the other one? Or have we completely detached this part of time and connected it to ourselves? Is it its own little bubble? Because we know Archimonde, like I've seen Archimonde on my little toy. What is that toy that I keep playing with? It's a communicator. Airdar communicator.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Archimonde's there. He shows up, he's talking. And then the other ones show up as my quest line has progressed because it changes every day.
I mean, I've talked to Mike about this before, and Mike said, for all we know, Illidan could never have been succumbed to demonic entities in this timeline.
It's possible.
It's possible he was the, in this timeline's War of the Ancients, he was the hero, and Malfurion was the traitor.
That would be creepy.
Illidan was the one
really
summoning Sargeras, and Ashara was the hero.
There's so many different possibilities. But with this alternate timeline, not only do we have an alternate Draenor, but we have an alternate Azeroth, which I don't quite think we're going to explore as of yet, but that could be the next expansion.
Doubt it. I doubt it. Oh my gosh. All I can think about is Blizzard saying, no, we're not making 10,000 new quests for a whole new continent of Azeroth. No!
I mean, It could be Azeroth pre-sunderinged.
No! I can still see it, and that's still 10,000
This timeline
quests.
may never have had the well rip the continents apart.
Implode.
Yeah. Northern Pandaria, Kalimdor, Eastern Kingdom, all be one continent.
It's just the problem that we run into did Sargeras use the orcs as a means to get into Azeroth, or was it just, those two guys being... I know they were going after Velen, of course, but the question is was this his ultimate plan of trying to find a way into Azeroth with Outlands? Like, that's what it comes down to. And so it's really hard to gauge, like, if he never broke through the well and caused the implosion of the well, basically, by us flushing him back down, would he have even gone to this Draenor? Like,
Too many painful questions.
My head really is hurting now. It's really hurting.
ifs.
What do you think is going to be the final boss for this expansion?
I'm still thinking it's going to be Infinite Flight. I'm still betting on the Infinite Flight because we saw their end.
Here's my problem with that, right? And I'm not discarding you at all, because they did do some changes in Tenaris and stuff. They added some new Infinite Dragon NPCs that spawned around Tenaris this expansion. But we've already defeated Mirazdan, but we defeated him in a timeline that never happened. Now we're defeating, if he's in this timeline, if we're defeating him in the new timeline that we just joined, the Draenor timeline, then he's still alive in our timeline. If we defeat him in our timeline, he's still alive in the Draenor timeline, and he can cross over.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many holes with that, is because he exists in every timeline.
But I'm still expecting him to have his start, which means we have to watch Nas be corrupted.
We do.
And that is what it comes down to. And yes, you talked about those Infinite Flight dragons. Those are the dragons that used to fly around back in Classic, and they got turned into Infinite Flight.
That's the world boss dragons, or
the
ones that were outside the Caverns of Time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of them used to fly out there, and he's the one that you end up killing as a rare now.
And there's even the corpse of the time lost proto-drake in
Such a cheese.
So
yeah. But yeah, I'm still expecting like who is, because this comes back to when BlizzCon 2013, when they say you're going to meet basically the end boss is going to be the person who's been pulling all the strings, and I automatically thought it was going to be Kairos Dormu. But where is he now? Dead. Thank you, short story.
Yeah. What about Wrathion? Do you think Rathion's been developed enough to be the end villain? Or
That would be a surprise.
That would be a surprise, but I don't see him turning into an end boss. Like, I don't see him being the person that's... I mean, yes, he is part of the collaboration of Garrosh escaping out of our world and hopping into the Draenor that we're dealing with Warlords. But
He basically played us all last expansion, too.
God, he was so good at it, too. Sorry, he's still my favorite chaotic neutral character. I will never not... Like, I don't have a hate bone in me for him. I expect we'll see him, but I don't see him as the end boss because, come on, he's a whelpling. He's a whelpling of 4 right now.
He is. He's very young. I think they have plenty of time to develop him, but we also
got a lot of time to develop him.
We also didn't think that Garrosh was going to die quite as quickly as he did either.
I was still hoping his dad was going to take him out.
I was kind of hoping that too. Thrall's the second best out of the people I wanted to see kill Garrosh, so I'm alright there.
I'm okay. It felt weird.
I think the end boss is gonna be some sort of old god, and I know it's kind of the cheesy cop-out that they always use, but I feel we're gonna start getting more tie-ins to the old gods in this thing that's gonna lead us to a Titan expansion coming up.
Because we don't know exactly where all the old gods have infected and how far they've reached.
Or how many there are.
Yeah. In fact, we don't even know how many are in Azeroth.
This could actually supplement Missy's theory, and we get an old god that is corrupting Nazdormu. And he's the one technically pulling the strings.
it's been a tie between like whether or not it's going to be N'Zoth corrupting Nas, or if it's going to be another one, because he's touched a lot, N'Zoth and Azeroth, and we still haven't even seen him.
Right.
Well, I know in our timeline we had the old god reference in Outlands, right? The Arakoa were trying to summon.
Yeah.
Right. They were trying to summon one. So we don't know where that old god exists in this timeline. If it exists in Draenor, I would assume there's going to be one there, because it seems there's at least one every planet.
At least one. But we had, like... Yeah, we faced the one that was in Outlands, and that was one that the Seath Arakoa, because this is the thing you have to understand, is there's different... The poor mutated birds, that have two different Kais that they follow, and then you've got the Seath one, and then you've got the Anzu. And it was the Seath ones that were summoning the old god in Outlands. And it's just... I don't know, like... If there is one, because we've kind of had inklings of Titan artifacts. You did that quest today, right? The one where you had to go help with the Druids of Talon, and freaking Crow Lady doesn't even remember you from Hyjal.
Yeah.
Well, I hated her because she was like, and you look like you can help. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't read the quest text, and when I first accepted that first part, when you go in or whatever, and then this bird is carrying me to a volcano, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then I had to actually start reading all the quest text, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because we've got that large yellow disc.
Yep.
That's now sitting in the chest in the middle of your garrison.
It was the heart of something, wasn't it?
The heart of Gorgorek or something like that. I can't even pronounce it. It started with a G, G-O-R. That's all I remember.
Yeah, maybe that's the old god, Gorgorek.
It's possible. They said that there was going to be some Titan stuff, but not to the extent of Azeroth, because Azeroth is a very unique special flower snowflake.
Yeah.
Heart of Gorgorek. I had to, look this up here.
Yeah. I mean, it was this huge disc, and it's now sitting in a chest in your garrison by the fire. Like
why is it in the middle
right
of
below
my garrison,
me?
though?
You see that picture right below me? In my garrison, there's now a giant chest sitting next to that fire. So it's like I don't even.
Been in my town hall.
Yeah, put it somewhere obscure, and I don't. You know what? I'm gonna go show everybody right now. I'm gonna hearth to my garrison. But yeah, it's sitting there, and it's obnoxious. It really is. It's so big.
And the only thing you know is that the Iron Horde valued it.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you're protecting it.
He's gonna go show off that giant chest. At least you don't have the troll with the rod.
Yeah, right? I mean, look at this thing. This thing is massive.
Massive!
That's interesting.
And that also goes back to, what was that other thing that we had to do? It was at the end of Gorgoron questing, where you had to use like this special tool that just summoned either a rock guy or one of the big plant centaur guys. I don't even remember what it was, but that seemed Titan-ish. It was a relic, and where did this thing come from,
Yeah.
Makes you think, yeah.
And then you've also got, the plant centaurs, and then the big, what are those?
Magnerons.
Magnerons, yeah.
Magnerons and Genosaurs.
They seem like the opposites of what the aspects were supposed to be, basically, because they're warring against each other. So, okay, sorry, having a moment.
Have your moment. You're good.
What if the Genosaurs were part of a test, as well as the Magaroks, whatever they're called, and they were an experiment for the future of the aspects, because we've got the aspects of that we know how they became. What if these things, given that, because they all talk, we had one die and it walks off in the air. I mean, are they reborn? Do they get replanted?
God.
Well, I do know that going back to Farallon, when that eventually gets patched in, I know that there are plants called Farah there. They're native to Farallon. So we'll get to see them, and maybe we'll learn a little bit more about the intelligent plant life in Draenor.
And Jakeinator93 just said that Lore Walker chose Inquest. You go to Everbloom and collect Titan artifacts.
Ooh.
Oh boy. I
Yeah.
love me some Titan old god stuff.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of possibility for different bosses that we can go to. You know, we go Nozdormu, Infinite Dragonflight, Old God, Illidan. Like, we could go anywhere. We really can. It's like I have absolutely no clue at this point. Like, I was before this podcast right now, I was like 99% sure it was going to be Illidan. Because everybody loves Illidan, they want to see Illidan again. They mentioned something about seeing how Metzen even wanted to see like a redemption story with Illidan. And if Illidan's dead in our timeline, you can technically have Illidan redeem himself and then bring him back to our timeline, so he's still around. And yeah, it's kind of the cheesy way out, but you still get Illidan, you know, which is cool. And I think people would appreciate that.
Alternate timeline.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Illidan's going to be the last boss now.
All right, so aside from last boss, right, what do you think we're going to get in between now and then? Like, you know...
We got to get more ogres. We definitely have to get more ogres.
I'm not even talking about, you know, story lore. I'm talking like content. Are we going to get more dungeons? Are we going to get more heroics? Obviously, we're getting more raids. That's a given. But
we know that the scenario's kind of flopped-ish.
Yeah, I liked scenarios personally.
I liked them too, from a story perspective.
They were a lot of fun, but are we going to get...
They perfected the mists.
Yeah, they did. Are we going to get, like, you know, a content patch with no raid? Just like, what was the 5.1 called? Landfall?
Yeah.
Right. Something like that, and then a raid, and then another content patch.
I think the way they're staggering the raids right now anyway, like, because we're not getting... Foundry until February, right. So I think that's around the time. It is part of this tier, but I also think that's around the time we're going to see 5.1. So 6.1. Technically, 6.1. Technically, or 6.1, yeah. Technically, it's part of this patch, but it's not launching until then. So it seems like it's spaced out that we're going to get a raid and content at the same time.
I don't know, because we still have to have 6.1 on PTR. And I suspect that they've sat there and they said that they're going to have at least 3 raid tiers, and that was from the convert to raid interview. Is at least 3, and they're planning on having them staggered out about 6 months. Is the rough, like, this is how much time is good for consuming raid content, is at least 6 months. Anything longer than that, and people start losing interest. So I suspect the 6.1 is just going to be a filler content. It's going to be something for PvP, for them to feel a little bit better, because Ashran, man, that queue. People are dying waiting for that queue.
I don't think I've done Ashran for more than... I did it once for like 15 minutes, and I've never been back.
I did it a few times for the daily quest, and I got really frustrated in there, but that's just the daily, and I know that I was frustrated because of the daily. I want to go back in there with an open mind and actually do it where my intention is to PvP, because when you're doing the daily, if you're at like 98 artifacts that you're ready to bring back and then you die, it halves the amount you had. So every time you die, no matter what it is, it's halving it. So you're like back to square one every time you die, and that's really frustrating more than anything.
I have not done that Garrison daily at all. I won't touch it. I see PvP and I'm just like, ew!
Yeah, so I definitely need to go into Ashram more with an open mind instead of for a really frustrating quest.
I just get to watch my significant other just sit there and stare at the queue and be like, I would love a queue pop. I would do you huge favors, Ashran. But yeah, I think 6.1 is definitely going to be something more along the lines with PvP. Maybe finally, like, this is the thing we don't have right now with PvP, and I did an article about this. Is they talked about it in their plans for the future esports for Warcraft. We don't have spectator invite yet for war games in PvP.
Right.
That was supposed to launch, and it didn't launch with this. So I'm suspecting that they're finishing and critiquing, and because they're changing that UI around, and it's going to be ready for 6.1. And then they're going to start doing tournaments and allowing open tournaments and people to do that stuff. So this is going to be the filler for the people that want more with PvP, because right now it's just, you know, arena season, RBGs, and Ashran. Right. They have to cap with Ashran. So that's what I'm expecting, is that this is going to be where esports starts kicking off, is in 6.1.
I like that. And I mean, there were a couple of other UI things that didn't get thrown in with that were supposed to come and launch that didn't. You know, the big one is the heirloom tab.
Oh my god!
They also said some of the toys, some of the items you have in your bag that should be toys but aren't toys are going to be toys in 6.1.
Like Moreau's polish.
That's
going
the
to
one
be a
they
toy.
mentioned. Yeah.
Good.
They said there's a whole bunch of various other ones that are gonna be toys.
Yeah, they said they slipped through the cracks. Yep. So
that's good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I'm curious how they're gonna squeeze a troll raid into this expansion.
No. There are no trolls on Draenor.
Yes, they will figure out how to put a troll raid, because that is their rice cake. Damn it.
Yeah, we've had a troll, either a raid or a dungeon in every single WoW expansion.
Something to do with a troll. There is going to be one patch with trolls.
Caverns of Time.
No, done. We're done. That's the final boss of the expansion, Zool.
No, you mean the... Oh, crap. The one... Oh, God, where do they... I just forgot. Zandalari. Yep, they're coming back. Yep, they're coming back. They're going to be somewhere in the Grand.
God.
Or Tanan Jungle. Ah!
We Zandalari.
All of a sudden, Hakar comes walking through.
They come to support the Mogu, the ancient allies of the Zandalari. Not the Mogu.
No.
They already supported the Mogu. The ogres, Heimel, there.
Yeah, they're gonna show up, and they're gonna make best friends with the ogres, because they remember what it was like working with the ogres back in the First War.
No. But they're ancient allies. Don't you remember?
They
back
were.
Like 6,000 years ago, they had some kind of like time and space communication.
No, this is gonna be it's gonna be the Yaman. We helped you during the First War of Azeroth. You know, and they're gonna talk about the future and how it's gonna be awesome and how they can make a change and how the ogres can go over to Azeroth and start wreaking havoc.
And if Margok was still alive, he would nod and be like, "What the hell's an Azeroth?"
Yeah.
Does his other head ever talk?
I don't think so. I think they're in agreement.
That's pretty good.
I think Cho'Gall's is the crazy ones.
Well, Cho'Gall.
Yeah.
Did you see
that's someone else we could see again. Like we see Cho'Gall
Cho'Gall will be the final boss of Warlords.
Do I spoil?
I think he'll be in the last raid, but I don't think he's gonna be the final boss.
He'll be somewhere wherever Gul'dan and demons are at.
I mean, I think everybody can hope that we're not going to get like a 12-month, no patch cycle between this and the next expansion. But I'd still be happy even if we got a one-off raid encounter with like Mirazdan or something. Just like a Nixia style, fight, like 12 phases, whatever. It's fine. But
yeah. See, Jakeinator says what I was hesitant to say, but Cho'Gall dies in Mythic.
Yeah, we killed him.
At the end of Imperator Margok.
He doesn't make it very far.
Right when you're about to kill Margok, I'll say what happens. Cho'Gall comes in, sucks the power of the runes out of Margok, killing him in the process, and then the raid has to kill Cho'Gall. A newly empowered Cho'Gall.
So basically, Cho'Gall repeats the old god sensation, but without the extra eyes.
Pretty much. And... yeah, when the mythic Heimel is done, Cho'Gall's body is laying there dead.
Yeah, and they're able to loot out of him instead of the Mark.
That's pretty cool, actually. That's pretty cool. I hope that they I don't like the whole major plot points in Mythic, thing, but I do like having differences. Like I really like that. But I don't like the fact that it's exclusively to Mythic. But I want
Sinistra being at the bottom.
Yeah.
Or
that was okay.
Or Ragnaros growing legs and stomping around.
That wasn't terrible. I
enjoyed that.
You got legs.
Yeah, it's
not frustrating to me.
No, because Cenarius and others show up and suck him out of the fire. Like, no, you're not getting away. You freeze that fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool and all, but I would like some optional bosses, at the end. Like Missy said, Sinestra, that's a perfect example of it done right. Like, that I want to see that kind of stuff moving forward.
We'll probably get it, because we've always gotten some optional boss in every expansion. Algalon, then we had Sinestra, then we had Raden. So, I mean, there will be one. Like, yeah, you could say pretty...
I mean, technically, we've even had in the form of Ordos, the world boss, we've even seen it.
Yeah, you're right.
So.
Stop putting important stuff in Mythic. Thanks.
Yeah, please, because that's kind of a big plot thing. Like, oh, what if Cho'Gall is going to screw us over and come in the final raid, and he's going to be the last boss and summon an old god or, a demon or something like that? It's like, no, Cho'Gall's dead.
He's totally dead.
Oh, wait, you didn't do Mythic? I'm sorry. You didn't have 19 other people plus you who can kick ass? Sorry.
Yeah.
I think if we were all working on Mythic right now, and if we killed Cho'Gall on Mythic, all three of our attitudes would be completely different and be like, oh, that was amazing. Let's get more stuff like that.
No.
So.
No.
I would like the difference in the fight, just like Ragnaros and other fights like that, but I would... I don't want
I used to raid
with my story.
I used to raid hardcore back in vanilla, and I was like, oh, this is tuned perfectly. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Like, Naxxramas, perfect. Don't ever touch it. Leave it exactly like that. This is the difficulty everything should be at. I didn't think there's anything wrong with it. Looking back on it now and knowing how, I'm raiding now, I was like, that shit was impossible. I was like, I don't even know how we did it.
But like, think to Blackrock Foundry. What is going to be the lore they hide behind Mythic Blackhand?
Well, we already know what he's done to become Blackhand.
We know that. We know he's been, the furnace, they used some crazy fire elemental to fuel it.
Basically, they've enslaved that fire elemental when you think about it.
What if Blackhand did some kind of underhand deal with the demons?
I don't see him doing that.
I'm doing what ifs here.
I think with them at their foundry, the heart of that is strictly Garrosh, because Garrosh was able to show their shaman how to bind the elements and twist them and corrupt them from the twilight.
Right.
Which goes back to Cho'Gall, which goes back to old gods, which goes.
Well, Cho'Gall goes back to old gods in our timeline. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going back to old gods in this timeline.
Yeah.
So.
But it's because he got that information from Garrosh.
Right.
What I suspect. I'm just curious. What all do we have lined up? Okay, so we got Gruul, we got Gorgoron, Blast Furnace, Hansgar, and Franzik. Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
I'm Hans, and I'm Franz.
Hans and Franz. Yes, they're in here.
And one of their abilities is pump you up. I'm not kidding. Or pump up or something.
I don't know, what else that, they could twist in here with this, because we've got, it's pretty straightforward. It's basically, we are literally taking out the very heart of the Iron Horde. Without their machines, without their foundry, they will start to crumble because they don't have anything else to build all of those siege weapons and everything else. So it's just... I don't know what they could hide. I don't think they would hide anything. If anything, it would probably go back and explain, the differences that we've got between the Black Hand that we know as being the war chief of the Horde for our timeline, and Black Hand, the meticulously minded blacksmith / warrior who's able to chain so many scary monsters to do his bidding that they normally just outright kill. Because it was Black Hand that actually didn't kill the ogres in our timeline, in our time period. He didn't kill the ogres. He managed to convince them to come join him.
Right.
Yeah. My brain is hurting.
I'm trying.
I don't even know.
Now, in this timeline, is Gul'dan still alive?
Yes. He is still alive. He is a third
We can't
party
get
right
him.
now.
Yeah, we can't get to him. The whole point of our legendary quest line is to get to Gul'dan.
Yes.
Right. So, let's say we defeat Gul'dan, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we defeat Gul'dan, he can never summon Ner'zhul. And without Ner'zhul, we wouldn't have a Lich King.
There will be no Lich King with this timeline.
No, there won't be. Because
there will not be a
did we kill Ner'zhul in Burial Grounds? Or did he get away too?
I think he got away.
You sure? Didn't we loot his body?
No, we loot a chest, don't we?
I haven't finished that one. That was the one that I left because nobody wanted to do the quest.
I don't remember. Jeez. I thought we killed Ner'zhul at the end of that. Huh.
I don't know.
But yeah, Gul'dan right now, I mean, we have us, the forces of the Horde and the Alliance, the heroes of Azeroth. We have the Iron Horde, and then we have Gul'dan and the Shadow Council doing their, skullduggery, whatever you want to call it.
Trying to look up Ner'zhul, and Ner'zhul is deceased post Shadow Moon Burial Grounds.
He's dead.
Okay, so you killed him.
So we took out Ner'zhul, we took out Kargath, and we're going to take out Blackhand. Or so we assume. Don't get me wrong, who's left? Kilrogg and Grom.
There's really not many left, which is really surprising.
Terran Goron. Did we kill
Terrangor, I think, jumped away at the end of
he jumps off, so we don't know what happened with him. Kilrogg?
Kilrogg Deadeye is still alive, and
and we got Bracken Fury or whatever that blade, burning blade.
Her, yeah.
We're still progressing with her. Else out of this lineup? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Kilrogg is in the Bleeding Hollow clan, and he's the ruler of Tanaan Jungles. We're not going to see him until Tanaan opens.
Right. Okay.
So.
And I suspect he'll be out there with Gromash, because we know Gromash is going to be the end.
Yeah. Yeah, but there really aren't many left of the
Warlords.
Iron Horde.
Yeah, we've
been advertising they're like the
dead.
big baddies, and they're like all gone.
Yeah, Ner'zhul's dead. He died in a dungeon. Lucky him.
Yeah, right.
Kargath dies in a raid. Blackhand's gonna die in a raid. We don't have Kilrogg. We know his hometown is Tanaan Jungle. Gul'dan is in the winds. And then we got Gromash and Duratan, but we know Duratan's never gonna die. So
Duratan's our ally.
He'll die.
I mean, we're gonna fight Gromash, but are we gonna kill him, or like?
Will Thrall try to convince him to be
exactly.
good?
That's what I thought.
Because all he remembers is the Gromash that he grew with.
And then
that he grew up
technically Garrosh was Warsong clan, right?
Garrosh was in charge of Warsong.
Right.
Yeah, so he's gone too. It's just like
who's left? Gul'dan.
Is Zayla alive?
No, Zayla's dead. We killed her in Upper Blackrock.
Yep.
Because they send her to invade and make that bomb to blow up Stormwind or just blow up everything.
It was probably Stormwind.
Azuka Blade Fury's up. She's alive.
Yeah. Oh, she's not one of the big, warlords on
No,
the
but
poster.
she replaced it. There. She's the leader now.
Yeah, she's getting there. You're right.
She's the new warlord of the Burning Blade clan.
Yep. She's getting
so
there. It's a pain in the
she's
butt.
got to be dealt with. And then Fenris, Wolf brother,
dead.
Is the Thunderlord clan.
Oh, we killed him.
We killed him. You kill him in the.
Oh yeah, we did kill him. We did kill him.
When I did it originally, he jumped away and did die.
Yeah, in the beta they had Kargath jump away, or from what I'm told, out of the arena in High Mall.
Right.
That's what a friend of mine told me anyway. I don't know. I haven't seen it firsthand.
Yeah, so we have, like, what, 2 of them alive still? That's it?
And I have a feeling that Gul'dan is going to be something that we have to deal with to get further along with their legendary questline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He will die epically and not in a quest and not in a fight.
Someone,
And Jaina's a Dreadlord.
someone I follow on Twitter posted a couple pictures. They completed the Abrogator Stones and, you know, everything. They got their eye level 690 ring, and they're on the next step. He says that it's going to require 3... it was from hours ago. 3 elemental tablets, and each tablet is going to need like 300 pieces of something to make.
Which is part of your missions that you can do periodically. It just came up in the master
Right.
plan.
And
Garrison.
you can get them out of High Mall as well, so you'll have reason to go back and do High Mall.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, that may be annoying, whatever, that you're like, oh yeah, we gotta go back to High Mall and do it, but to be honest, with such a large number, 300, you're gonna want it spread out across multiple places.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's gonna take twice as long.
Right, here it is. Next part of the legendary quest requires 3 elemental tablets. Each tablet requires 300 elemental runes. Yeah.
Which means those items will be in Raid Finder 2.
Oh, thank God.
Yep, and the ring gets upgraded to 690, right?
Yeah, it's 690, its stats go up, and it gets an effect. Chance on hit to give you Archmage's Incandescence, which doesn't tell you what that does.
Probably something special depending on your class.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I think we have a Twitter question, right?
We do have a Twitter question. Just give me a second. I got a random tickle here. Blah. Here, Dom, you read the Twitter question while I choke.
Okay, then. Okay, rest in peace, Mike. Total Deletion, our executive producer, says, how do you think the natives of Draenor feel about seeing our warlocks or Draenei shaman?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I haven't
indeed.
played the Alliance side yet, so I don't think anybody's even commented, really, to be honest. I'm pretty sure the orcs are just like, we don't like you with the warlocks, just because they remember Gul'dan and they remember the corruption. So it's really weird for the Frostwolves to have to deal with these warlocks, especially the orc ones. Like, they commented on the green skin of Thrall.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because that's all they can associate with, is that they're corrupted by the demonic blood that they did not drink. Which
Right.
technically they're supposed to all get corrupted eventually, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, haven't seen anything mentioned about Shaman Draenei. And I don't even think they realize what it is. Like, I'm, again, my paladin on Airy Peak and Convert to Raid, she's only level 80 right now. So I haven't gotten to experience it much as a paladin Draenei. And I haven't heard anything, but, like,
What about...
the Draenei don't really make anything, like, special about seeing another Draenei. Not really. Like, because
Right.
Murad is there, and technically Murad's supposed to be there in his own timeline, but he... Not in that timeline.
How do you think the orcs feel about the Horde running around with paladins?
Do they even know what a paladin is?
I don't even think they know, because technically orcs didn't even have magic. They weren't mages. Mages came about in Cataclysm. So I think they just have to...
There's Gul'dan, but that's demonic power
That's
and
warlock,
more
yeah.
than magic.
Yeah.
That's not harnessing the arcane.
I don't think... The thing that I've noticed the most about this expansion, and this is the nice thing, and they've fixed it all throughout beta, that was the other thing, was that they've tried not to be super judgmental about the differences that happen. They mention it once, and then it moves on. Like, it's not even something that has to be brought up multiple times, because, again, it comes back to Durtan saying, I don't know if you've noticed, but this one's skin is green. And, you know, you've got Drekthar saying, he's like, I don't have to have eyes to see that he has a good heart. So it's like, it's done, it's one and done, and okay, we're moving on. We don't have any issues with any of this weird stuff. We're just going to accept the fact that this is odd, but it works for us.
Right.
Well, Jaconator's even saying in chat, the ogres have magic, so they do know what the arcane is.
Yeah, they know what the arcane is, but orcs never had power for it.
Right.
Right.
So it's got to be weird for them seeing orc, mages running around and
That would
stuff.
be interesting to see, like, the kibitz about that, maybe. But right now, it's like it would have to come from. It would honestly have to come from a story, like actual physical novel, things that I got behind me, to venture into, and not something in game, unfortunately, because that's just delving too deep into their characteristics and what their thought process is, and most people.
That's where the books actually fit in well, because they get to tie in some of the stuff that they don't have time for, like the Emerald Dream. I mean,
now I'm excited.
That's the best example of it.
All I can think about is Christy Golden getting to write about Duratan and Thrall all over again. I'm excited.
But this also brings, some nice potential for the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
We only know one movie coming out right now, but I guarantee you it's not going to be the last.
Especially if it does well, which it probably will.
This is not a one-off Warcraft movie. I'm telling you right now. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if Duncan Jones himself said he's not doing another one. I'm telling you right now, there will be another Warcraft movie after this.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing that trailer for it at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
I may be biased because I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan out there, but I'm going to make a bold statement and say it's going to do better than Lord of the Rings did.
It will.
Yeah, 'cause this...
I'm going to start crying thinking about it all over again because it was so happy.
I get chills. I got chills seeing the overhead shot of Stormwind, and I don't even play Alliance. Right? I don't give a shit about Stormwind.
The orcs run across the field, and then seeing Duratan's face.
For the whole group of us, when Dom and I went, the whole group, that was the moment. Duratan's face, someone in the back just, you hear a "holy shit" echo throughout the theater.
Yeah. I was sitting there just doing this to my significant other, just touching, because I'm just like, is this real? I need a foundation. Is this real life?
Is this real? Am I dreaming? I think I died. What's going on? Yeah. Good reaction.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna progress through it. We're getting the what is it, the first battle technically here, the culmination of orcs versus humans.
It's based, from what I could tell, it was going to be like the two sides, and then the first clash, which is going to be in the Stormwind lower half region. Yeah, I don't think that we'll see the second war yet.
Right. Yeah, I think they're going to progress
because they have to get through Stormwind, and so they'll be pushed out of Stormwind, and then that'll probably be the Fen, and then they will be, if possible, they will do Lordaeron.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see Arthas in this coming, not a prominent role or whatever, but I think the second movie at least is going to focus on his descent into madness. Yeah.
Yeah, right. This one, he will be very young. He will be about, what was it, a boy of 10, 12?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Yep.
I think it was 12.
And Varian was like maybe 2 years older than him.
Yeah. And it would be very interesting to see how the game can possibly tie in with the movie, at some point. Because they're going to try to do that at some point. Wouldn't it be nice if the special edition DVD release gives you like a cool mount or something in Warcraft?
Oh, good God. Really?
Mike's like, thanks, Dom.
Thanks,
Dom. Now I have to buy 2 copies of the Warcraft movie.
More shit I'm going to have to buy. Thank you. Guys drive me nuts. You drive me nuts. So,
please, someone at Blizzard do that.
Yeah, please, Blizzard, do that. Drive us all insane. What else did we forget? Is there anything else to mention here?
Everything.
Everything.
Honestly, if we had enough food and drinks and things here, we could probably discuss the lore segment of this for another 24 hours straight.
Oh God, that would be insane.
We probably could.
I don't know if tonight, I wouldn't have the energy right now. 3 hours from now, we'll be talking about it. It'll be after midnight or something.
Right. So,
And then I hear a name I recognize. It's like, oh, well, I know him. I know Khadgar. Where's Khadgar?
I love Khadgar. Oh my gosh.
He's fun. If you got to read all the quest text for the legendary quest line. When you bring the core of iron, he's like, huh. So he's like, I didn't think that goblins could fit this much energy in a small package. On a side note, I now know what this thing called a samaflange is for. Thank you. Do share. I've actually been wondering.
Oh gosh. It's all those books that he's got.
Too many books.
I would love to see them cross some of the stuff over with their other games too. Like, let's get some of these Iron Horde guys in Heroes of the Storm. I'd love to see some of that going on. Or even Hearthstone. Like, get a couple of them in there.
They got plenty of time.
Already they've got Vol'jin. When you throw him out against Garrosh, he says, "Who'll be the war chief now?"
Yeah.
Well, as far as heroes go, they have plenty of time to.
They do.
Because they're gonna, constantly be releasing new heroes. They'll,
Closed beta starts on the 13th.
Yeah, 13th, and they'll have, hopefully we get, everything added in, that they've announced so far, like Thrall, the new maps, Lost Vikings. Maybe surprise us with a couple other heroes you haven't mentioned.
It would be nice. It would be nice.
It would be very nice.
Overwatch.
But see, like, they could time the release of some of this stuff really well. Like, if they really wanted to, like, you get with Warlords here, like, if we get Tanan Jungle, like, how awesome would a Tanan Jungle map be in Heroes of the Storm? Just to coincide with that.
But at the same time, you don't want to detach from the new stuff that you just released with new stuff and something else. And then the nice thing is that what I've noticed with Blizzard is that they've been trying to time a lot of their stuff during the lull points, like Goblins versus Gnomes kind of hit around in that not much going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everybody's still kind of leveling and just getting into it. And
I still think Hearthstone is a little lackluster in a few areas. There needs to be I think there just needs to be more events and stuff. Like, I would love to see in Hearthstone, like, around Halloween, just give us, like, for the month, the Headless Horseman is there as his own encounter. You could do it. You get a, like, little pumpkin, like, the minion, like, those little pumpkin fiends that he summons to fight.
Squashlings.
Yeah, the Squashling. Just get a Squashling as a card, have it do something. Have it do something cool, and, then maybe even very rare chance to get the Horseman himself. Not a guaranteed thing, but I would love to see stuff like this in Hearthstone. Do, like, a Christmas event and a Valentine's event, and just like they have in Warcraft. I would love to see that, because they're doing that for heroes, right? We're getting the Winter Veil skins and the mounts and the packs, but do that kind of stuff in Hearthstone too. We didn't even get a Winter's Veil card back this
No.
They just skipped right over. It's like goblins, gnomes, and what is the card back we have this month?
Marauds.
Marad.
Draenei. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
It's nice.
But yeah. Oh, but didn't they also say with
nice.
Hearthstone that they're going to do, like, PvE content where you didn't have to, like, just go and duel whoever?
Well, that's what we have with Curse of Naxxramas.
We got that. Yeah, we got that with the Curse of Naxxramas, and it was really cool. But there's no replayability on it. I mean, the only replayability that existed was the heroic mode, but I completed heroic mode as it was releasing, so I was caught up, and as of right now, there is absolutely zero reason to go back. Even if they just gave me, like, one quest a week to go back into Nax and defeat a boss, that would be more entertaining than what it's at now, because, I'm a sucker for just, like, going back, having a reason to go back. I'm not going to go do it just for the nostalgia factor. There's got to be a reason to go back. Same reason you're not going to catch me running Hyjal anymore. It's because there's no mount or pet in there for me. As soon as Raiding with Leashes 3 comes out and they put pets in Black Temple, Hyjal, and Sunwell, yeah, I'll be back in there, But
I've already maxed out my reps with them. I don't need to go back in there.
Yeah, like, I want to go back in there.
I mean, I still run Black Temple for the Warglaves, but,
I still need to run that for rep.
Yeah.
All the rep.
So,
including Molten Core.
Molten
It's
core.
back. One whole week.
One more week. It ends on the 13th.
Yes, on the 13th. That was the thing we forgot to mention. The molten core.
The only thing I don't like about it returning was just the fact that it altered the calendar, and they don't have the original start date on the calendar now. So
Yeah.
when I go back like 5 years from now and page back on the calendar like I did to see when all the other anniversaries started, this one is going to be skewed because of this.
Maybe they'll
Yeah.
hotfix it to, fix it. But what happened was the anniversary event ended a day earlier than it was supposed to due to it being hard-coded into the game like that or some BS, I don't know.
It was some scheduling error in game. Everybody was off on holiday break. People tried catching it ahead of time. Didn't happen. And yeah.
So they extended it for a full week for those who may have been inconvenienced by it.
Which means I could run it 13 more times to try to get my pet. That's how many times I got left to run Molten Core to be exalted with the Hydraxine Waterlords.
Yeah.
No, but unless you guys got something else to mention, I would say that's our show.
I just want to see more Rathion. We haven't had any Rathion this. There was like one little mention of Rathion so far, and that was in like the journal in Admiral Taylor's garrison.
Garrison log,
right?
which for those of you that might have missed it, there's a key over by Admiral Taylor's mine on a rock near a tree. Grab the key, go into his little town hall thing, open the chest, and there's a logbook. Read the logbook and be amazed.
Yeah, so we know he's been here. That's the thing.
He's in Draenor now.
There's the theory Jakeinator said in chat that the Khadgar we're working with is really Rathion in disguise.
Ooh.
He's still giving
I
heroes
hope not.
legendary items.
I hope
Oh
not.
man.
He said this a while ago.
Yeah,
I just made
I'm
note of
hoping not, but yeah.
That just blew my mind. See, here's the other thing. Maybe Missy can answer this for me real quick. Lore-wise, are we trapped in Draenor?
Yes.
We technically, I mean, there's portals that exist that bring us back to our timeline, but
Which
from
they
a lore
said that
standpoint, they're for convenience, right?
they're for convenience. Basically, it came out that like the portals there, they turn on and off based on when you need to go somewhere. But there's not somebody casting 24/7. But for the most part, technically, we are trapped on Draenor. There's technically no way back. Khadgar got freaking lucky to pull what he did.
I mean, when our garrison is first created, he makes a portal, right? And he starts sending. He goes, "I hope they're ready. I can only keep this portal open briefly." So it seems like that traveling back and forth is not supposed to be a thing.
It's not supposed to be a thing. And technically, if we want to be technical, when we broke the dark portal on this side of Draenor, we technically broke away from that timeline, because that was the only thing that was keeping them together, was that sliver. Unless, and I would probably want to kick Kairos Dormu's dead body a couple times, as much as I love that guy. He somehow has a magical thread that's still keeping them connected, just in case the dark portal did break.
I mean, they aligned the dark portal to our timeline, so one would assume that you would be able to do that again.
I'm just wondering how they did it, because
Rathion,
Garrosh,
I'm assuming if Rathion was there, that means
assuming
he's
he did
traveled
too.
there.
Yeah.
So
But-
he's got to have another way.
He has to, but it kind of hurts my head, because it's like technically the person that knows time best they killed before they even got to the freaking village.
Yeah.
Right, and that very well could have been Rathion playing with Garrosh to have Garrosh kill him to cut all ties to that. This could be Rathion's plan the whole time, which would further lead to the theory that Khadgar is in fact Rathion.
Oh, good God. So that's the question. How are they going to power, if we need a dark portal to get back, how the hell are they going to power it? Because the Iron Horde was using Gul'dan, Cho'Gall, and Terran Gore to power the portal in the first place. To keep it open.
the heart of whatever that's sitting right behind me in this chest.
Yep.
Maybe something like that. Maybe they'll find a Titan artifact. No, total. Khadgar is not a Dreadlord.
No,
Maybe
Jaina's the
Jaina is.
Dreadlord.
My brain hurts now.
You're welcome.
All right, so that with brain hurting, that's our show. And yeah. I'm amazed that I'm not. Am I bleeding out of my eyeballs? Is there blood in there? I don't know.
We made it through. We're all
There's
intact.
blood in my ears.
We didn't get sucked into any alternate timelines ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Or did we?
that's good. Jake. Oh, he mentioned a while ago. What since we freed Gul'dan into Shadow Council, what if the Iron Horde captures a demon to power the rebuilded Dark Portal? The rebuilt.
Could be.
That's something.
Very, very possible.
Yeah.
Illidan could be power the Dark Portal. Who knows?
Special
That could be
guest.
his redemption story. He brings us home.
Illidan comes through, is like, yeah, I'm getting you guys out of here. Special guest Missy, where can they find you?
At Lilmissy 4205, and also I've got my own website too, just in case. But I'm mostly game skinny.
Alrighty.
Definitely
Other
check
person.
her out, Games Mini.
Yes,
She's got
check that
some
out.
killer articles on there. You can find me down below, right there, at Xizta, Xizta, with a little underscore at the end. You could also find me on YouTube /ASO TV Podcast for some podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, including The Return of Gotham, which aired last night, Sleepy Hollow, which also aired last night, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just did their little spin-off Agent Carter that aired tonight, as well as the next 3 weeks of the finale of American Horror Story Freak Show. So make sure to check that out.
There's a lot of that. You can find me on Twitter at Philodrin down there. Yeah. And everywhere he just said. Also, I'm not repeating that. And you could find us here for the time being on Twitch TV /Xizta, doing Battle Talk every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, or convert to wherever the heck you are.
8:30 Central.
Yeah, 8:30 Central. Go with that. Mike, I'm your host, and have a lovely time of day that you're watching this. And of course, now the transition doesn't lag.
So speaking of time being all timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, we still got to do a podcast for the Doctor Who Christmas special.
I am behind.